All right, we are live. Welcome to E4Electric group therapy for our entire community. You don't have to even own an electric car to be part of this, I guess. You just have to be somewhere on this planet in a lockdown. So yeah, let's talk about what's happening in the world. Let's talk about what's happening in the electric car community. Let's talk about what is going on with Tesla electric cars and other things. I'm gonna have a few cool guests in the next couple of weeks. Obviously, everyone's kind of slow right now. So, on one hand, you would think it'd be easier to score a Zoom or Skype interview, but on another hand, I think people are still kind of not in the mood to be on camera, which I totally understand. So, obviously, I want to take, I love taking your questions. So, we did that yesterday, we're doing it today. I don't know, maybe we can do it as a regular thing here. I'm enjoying it, hopefully, you're enjoying it. So, let's get going. Taking over the world, electrifying the world, E4Electric! Welcome to E4Electric, your number one source of unbiased electric car news. If this is your first time here, well, you came to the right place. This is where we do not only group therapy, but we normally talk about electric car news, which has been a bit slow, just like everything else in the world. But if you're interested, don't forget to click on the subscribe button and the bell notification icon so you don't miss anything moving forward. All right, so let's see. Did my graphics get stuck? Yes, it did. Yes, it did. All right, nothing's when it's live. You know, usually normally I stream to Patreon. Just like in case if you guys watching me on YouTube, but I stream on Patreon first the day before, and then I stream and then I repost that on YouTube the next day. So whenever there is some sort of a problem, I just usually edit it just a little bit. Let's see if it runs. Oh yeah, look, it does run actually. So there you go. All right. So meanwhile, let me know in the comment section where you guys watching me from. Are you at home? Are you at work? Are you in an area where there's like a complete shutdown? Does it feel weird to you? Do you have enough toilet paper and hand sanitizer? Maybe we can barter here. But all right, let me see what's going on in the chat room. Vit, hey, what's going on, my friend? It says hello from Czech Republic. Eli, first one in the chat room. What's up, guys? Eli from My Tesla Adventure. By the way, if you guys want to support a local business in the community, Eli has an amazing freaking project. If you haven't heard about it, I talk about all the channel. He's one of the contributors to this channel. Check this out. The Adventures of Starman. These are, first of all, these are amazing. I'm not even a comic book fan, and I absolutely love this. So if you're interested in this, you guys should go to, I always forget the URL, theadventuresofstarman.com, and order this. You can even get it signed. At the very least, follow him at on Twitter, because there's some amazing pictures there. The real Starman, I believe. He'll correct me if I'm wrong. And by the way, so Eli is one of the contributors, right? But thank you to him and of course Tom Malogny, who's another weekly contributor. Despite everything that's going on in the world, they still, you know, did our segments. The one with Eli is posted today. A little controversial, I know. Whenever I call out Elon Musk, somehow people don't like that. And then of course my segment with Tom will air tomorrow. We're actually talking about 3 different levels of charging, because a lot of people still don't know what it is, especially people who are new, but some Tesla owners, for example, I think Tesla owners don't know that the fastest fast charging out there is not a Tesla supercharger. It's actually a different network, so, or a couple of them. So we talked about that and just, you know, options for your home charging. And of course, I got a few really big names that I'm just so humbled to have on my channel as monthly contributors. You guys know the CEO of Faraday Future, the former CEO of Byton, Karsten Breitfeld, with his segments called Karsten Says Go. And then Rich Rebuilds, always funny and always awesome. We just did a segment. We just did a few, actually, to put a few in a can. So I'm going to start releasing them relatively soon. And of course, Sandy Monroe. I'm trying to schedule one with him. We'll probably do one next week, and I'll air it after that. Obviously, we're going to be talking about the effects of a coronavirus on manufacturing, because he obviously has like the real insights what's going on in Europe, in the US, but also in China. I just talked to him today, so some really cool insights. So Just like I said, if you guys like all of those amazing people, don't forget to subscribe, but definitely tune in for whatever it is that they have to offer. I learn from every single one of them every time. Like literally, this is like me also watching my show and learning. So, all right. Dale asks, is the Fremont plant closed down? They're closing it down, I think today or 24th. I forget. But yeah, they're closing down. I think the sheriff's department gave them a couple of days. Now they think gonna maintain 25% of their force. Now I hope it's to produce spare parts, so people whose cars break and they need parts, then they can still get parts. So that's number one. Number two, obviously, I think they're going to start manufacturing ventilators, which is a great thing, even though Elon said that he doesn't think that by the time they're actually going to really producing them in large numbers that people actually will need them by then. Elon's been kind of weird about this whole thing. Not weird, but just wrong about a couple of things and tweets that he sent out. I mean, I'm actually quite disappointed, but hopefully they will get on that, and I think there are a couple of other manufacturers, automakers that are doing the same. But overall, Tesla will stop making cars. All right, Steve Koss says, my girlfriend is a nurse at St. Luke, and she told me a toddler is very ill from coronavirus, so it's false that kids can get seriously ill. Please keep your children safe. Yeah, one of the tweets that I was disappointed in is that Elon tweeted out saying that kids are pretty much immune from this. That is obviously not true. You can probably make a case that they don't go as often with as severe symptoms than elderly, for example. But at the same time, even if they do, if they don't, obviously I'm no doctor, neither is Elon. But and by the way, neither is Dr. Dre. I don't know if you knew that. So you know, they're still pretty good carriers because they're still human beings. So their grandfathers and their parents and so forth, you know, that's just pretty much just as bad. So I really didn't feel like that was appropriate of him to do. So, but yeah, absolutely, Steve. And I hope your girlfriend is well as well. I mean, without people like her, literally this whole thing would just completely destroy this universe. So thank you to her for sure, and people like her. Edmar, hi from Germany. How you doing, my friend? Let us know how things are going over there. Let's see. Watching from home at New York. I don't know how to pronounce your username, but hopefully you're doing well. Finland here, 1 point. Peter Traveler. Let's see. Joel says he's staying at home. Okay, so I'm here in Sacramento, California. We are on a, people call it a lockdown, but you know, a lockdown. It's not really a lockdown because like we can still go out, and we just like, they're saying, well, you can only go out to get some food. You can go out and, you know, shop at essential stores like, you know, grocery stores and like, but Home Depot is open and Target is open. And someone told me that they've seen couples going to Target and just holding one item or anything just so they can spend some time outside of the house. You can go and, you know, walk your dog or whatever. Like I go to my hiking trail every day, and I gotta tell you, it's been very nice, peaceful, and quiet there for what, 2 years? So it's almost 2 years that I've been here in Sacramento. But yesterday and the day before, and I'm sure when I go today, there's so many freaking people just walking and running and riding bikes and trying to stay healthy. So, but the thing is, essentially, this lockdown is basically saying like, you can go out and do essential things, but you can't gather in large numbers anyway, and everything is closed, you know, besides those stores. So it's not a lockdown, but it's kind of depressing, I have to say. Dark Yuli, how are you? What's going on, my friend? James says, stay well and be safe, staying in Carlton, Oregon. Vid says 50% home office, 50% in empty office. All right, well, at least you have a change of sceneries. Just careful pressing those elevator buttons, okay? Use gloves or Purell or whatever. I carry Purell with me like this. Oh, because I have a green screen. It looks like it's an empty bottle, but it's actually green. Should have gotten another car. But I also carry a spray of Lysol disinfecting wipes. Like, I was already germaphobe all my life, so none of this is new to me. But, you know, I'm carrying extra stuff with me now. Paul says, hi, Alex from Wales. Social distancing in effect here, 9:40 p.m. Home chilling. Well, it is a Saturday night, and normally I prefer to go out on Saturday night, but yes, we are. And by the way, I go to my I don't have Netflix. I have like Xfinity Home on demand, and I realized that I don't like any of the movies that were made in the last 5 years. So I have nothing to watch. So I guess I'm really watching YouTube. So that's let me know if you guys kind of in the same pickle there as well. Joel says, guys, did you know you can get a 30% tax credit on level 2 EVSE? I think, Joel, you should mention which state you're in, and if it's because I'm sure it's a state incentive there. Let's see. Safer to charge at home. No sanitizer needed, says Joel. That's correct. Boris says, hi, Alex from Sudbury, Canada. Did I hear you right? Yesterday you said you were not getting a Byton. So Byton is spelled with, by the way it's spelled over there, Byton. I'm just saying that, well, first of all, I'm saying that Byton is no longer going to be advertiser after this month. So I will no longer be promoting it. But I also, because they push the production over more and more and more, I'm not sure if I can wait. I want to get a Byton. Don't get me wrong. I can't wait. But like, if I won't be able to get it, for another year and a half, I'd rather go with something else for now, because I've been driving my Volt all this time, and I'm looking at it as even though I love my Volt, I'm looking at it as an intermediate car, kind of like in between. So, and by then my Volt lease will expire actually next year. So, I'm gonna watch. So, what I'm gonna watch the deals on the Jaguar I-Pace and Audi e-tron, and I'm going to see if when they're getting rid of this year's models, and with all the deals on top, because they really do need those green credits, I'm going to see if they're amazing deals. You can get the Jaguar I-Pace for pretty cheap already. I do love the way that car looks. I almost bought it when it came out. It's just I really don't like that small wheel. But if I can get a good deal, I guess I can suck it up and get used to it. It's probably not that much smaller than my Volt. It's just much smaller than the Tesla. That's where I was kind of comparing at that time. But so we'll see. I hope to get a Byton sooner or later. I absolutely love the damn car. But again, no longer going to be promoting. Don't ask me for the reasons. But there are not going to be advertising. You know what? Might as well run the promos right now. Pay my bill so we can do ad free after this. So let me tell you and remind you that this video and this channel is sponsored by Byton. Still for the rest of this month. Don't forget free reservations. You can use the link in the description of this video. If anything, you should definitely do that, because that is free. So go and do that. And of course, buy Evanex, the aftermarket accessories for Tesla. Use E4 Electric as a discount code for purchases over $100. All right, let me catch up with some of the questions. Hopefully I answered one about Byton, but yeah, it is kind of sad. I would have loved things to be a little different than they're now, but it is what it is. James says, hey Alex, thank you for doing this. Haven't left the house in 7 days. I hope others are doing the same thing to protect their neighbors. I have to say that I do leave my house every day to go on a walk. I did grocery shopping yesterday because I needed to catch up. Though I gotta tell you, what stressed me out a few days ago is when I went to the grocery store, and the lines were super, super long, and there was nothing on the shelves like essential, right? I struggled to get like even bananas or carrots, like, so it kind of reminded me of like the hungry times in Russia where I grew up in like early 90s and late 80s. And I was like, whoa, like we just went from normal life to not having food in the supermarket. And then if you really want some strangers to cough on you, then you stand in line in the supermarket, right? And where everyone's touching everything, it's impossible. Like when I came out of that supermarket, I was like, oh my God, I need a Purell shower, right? But yesterday I went around 5 p.m. So it's Friday, 5 p.m. where normally people are like flocking to grocery stores. It was pretty chill. Most of the items are back on the shelf. They still don't have like bottled water. They had normal like water in big containers, so that's good. No bottled water and no toilet paper yet, but like everything else kind of came back. The eggs, the bananas, the carrots, everything that I was shopping for that I couldn't get before. So I do have to, and it doesn't feel stressful. Like people are more like hanging out and getting used to this whole weird lifestyle we're living right now. So that's actually not bad. Let's see. Let me catch up. And don't forget, like, you still have to have food delivered to you at your home. Your mail is coming in, your package is coming in. whoever prepared your meal had to, pick the tomatoes or pick the celery and then deliver it and then prepare it and cut it and package it and sell. They're up. You will not be able to avoid sort of interacting with other people if you're not, even though you're not really interacting with other people. And also, like, again, I'm not a doctor. My philosophy is this: there are other viruses except for coronavirus, and you want your immune system to still be kind of up and running. So your immune system needs germs to practice on, right? Was it George Carlin who said that? I'm trying to still kind of have a good balance between those two. Um, and the thing is, now I know actually a couple of people who have the virus, or at least they think they have a virus. They have the symptoms, except for testing takes such a long time right now that it's almost like one of them told me that it takes 9 to 15 days, I think, something crazy. Like basically, by the time the test is back, you're either dead or you are fine, right? So that's been kind of disappointing. Here in California, I've also heard that they're prioritizing how they're doing testing. Like they will only, I guess, do testing on you if you're like really in a bad shape to figure out what's wrong with you. But there other diseases are not on a lockdown. Okay, so I'm trying to still mesh with somewhat people around me in a reasonable amount. Like I hung out with my neighbor the other day. I went on a date, but I first asked her if like she's been working from home, so like her kids are home, so I kind of felt pretty safe just hanging out. I'm not advising anybody on anything. Like this is my comfort level. I'm a pretty healthy guy. I'm 43, so I feel like I need to maintain a reasonable balance. So, all right. Let me move on to the next question. James asks, I've been hanging out with my awesome 2-year-old, so I haven't had time to make a video this week for my channel. Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna lie. A few days ago, I just was not feeling like making a video at all. But my commitment is to make a video a day, and I've been like this for almost over 2 years now. So today you're getting 2 videos, right? One that I posted my conversation with Eli, which you should definitely watch, and now me streaming live. Let me just sip a little bit of hot tea with honey. By the way, somebody reached out to me yesterday. He's like, Alex, do you have a coronavirus? I'm like, no, but like, why do you ask? And not that I would even tell you. I mean, if I want to keep it private, like, but I wouldn't. If I had it, I would definitely let you guys know. And I was like, why? He's like, well, you look kind of sick. And I'm like, I looked at some of my videos in the last few days. Like I have been, well, I've been stressed out. And so somehow, even though like my life is perfectly fine and health is perfectly fine and, I have savings and all that stuff. And obviously I'm able to work every day. But, I have been having trouble falling asleep. Just this whole thing of, this cloud. I don't know if you guys been having trouble falling asleep. So I have been looking a little sick, I have to say, like, and I've been really waiting until the end of the day to make my videos. And by then, jamming my contact lenses in my eyes, I guess really do make me look kind of sick. Because like, yeah, I guess he has a point. But no, I don't have it. Hopefully I don't at all. But, I'm pretty confident my immune system is good enough where if I get it, and unless it's like super bad, I probably will just stay at home and not bother with testing because you can't really get it on time to know to make it really important. And depending, like if you're either having a cold or a flu or the virus, if you're okay, I mean, obviously if you're having like trouble breathing and stuff like that, you should definitely like talk to your doctor. But like I probably will just stay at home like I would when I have a flu. I have four and a half weeks worth of supplies. Now I'm good after shopping yesterday. So, but again, this is just my philosophy. I don't have children. I'm not interacting with my parents who are two hours away. They're in complete lockdown because my dad is 91. This is just my random thoughts. Let's see. Hi from your favorite place, Texas, says a Forney kid. Just listen. Texas it's complicated, right? Obviously, I wasn't that crazy with fully charged giving their money and bringing people and having them give money and spend money in a state that's been so against green energy, even though they put out a video how Texas is like the best friends with green energy, but that's BS. So I'm not saying they're not making progress, but I believe it's not even, you can't even buy a Tesla there now, or till very recently. So, yeah, it's yeah, but I have owned property in Austin. Never been there though. One of these days. All right, so Albus Regnum says, I'm willing to trade a whole box of toilet paper for used Tesla low mileage. Hey, you know, by the going rate, that might be a good deal actually at this point. Edmund says, look out in my place, but then Munich, you can go anywhere. A fine can be as high as 25,000 American dollars. Wow. So about what, like 20,000 euros? Is that what it is? Oh, wow. So you guys are in a complete lockdown, meaning like, how do you eat? How do you eat? How do you seek medical attention? How do you fix plumbing if your pipe bursted? Like how does that work? Let's see. Joe says it's a federal tax credit from 8911, where I think we're talking about the, you said level 2 charger, right? Okay, an electric car question, go figure. Gabe Hawks asks, what's your favorite electric car brand that's coming out? Brand or a car? The car would definitely be Byton. I'm really excited about that. The brand, well, I guess that would be Byton as well, right? No, I'm still very excited Byton. You know, again, you know, because we're parting ways, I don't want to talk negatively about them, but I still am looking forward to that. But it depends on your needs. You know, like I am a guy who doesn't have kids, who loves technology and big screens, right? And electric cars. So to me, Byton is perfect, but some people don't like the distraction. They think it's distracting. It's not, but you know, they believe it's too much. Okay, fine. And some of them, you know, have other needs like, you know, transporting kids and having 7-seater or whatever. So, you know, I'm still gonna stick with Byton, because you guys think that I like Byton because they were sponsors. Actually, it was always the other way around. I was a Byton fan from day one. I went to their unveiling when nobody knew what Byton was. I was there, and from then on, we went for another year of coverage until they sponsored my channel. As a matter of fact, I have not produced a negative video about Byton until they sponsored my channel. And this just happened that a couple of bad news stories happened after they sponsored me. So, like, I wasn't pretending all this time. Like, I know I've gotten a lot of crap about, like, oh, Alex, you're a sellout. You talk about Tesla negatively because of Byton, and always positive about Byton, which, by the way, is also not true in either one of those cases. But now you'll really find out that, you know, even though they're not going to be sponsoring my channel, I'm still rooting for them, and I really, really like that car. So I just can't advertise them anymore for reasons that, you know, contractually obligated, I can't tell you, but you can figure it out, right? All right, so let's move on. Let's see. Paul says a lot of gardening and DIY going on here. Yes, I'm also putting together furniture. I am fixing stuff. I'm learning some new software, and I would love to do gardening as well. It's just getting, I don't know. It's not 100. I don't know what to do with my yard just yet. I need to design it first and then start planting. But I would love to do that. Let's see. Paul continues saying, Paul Harrington, I'm horrible with last names. With the current lockdown continues for 12 months, do you see any OEM car makers failing? Business just seems to have ground to a halt. All right, so like I can't predict stuff, but if we look at what's happening in China, right? Their businesses are back online, and Americans are reporting that. Like, so I would believe them at least partially. So it looks like it's possible to fight this thing off. I think the problems that we're having right now in the U.S. and people, especially in Italy and Europe, that they're having is because they were not prepared. I mean, I'm disappointed that in 2020 we're not prepared for this. And yes, I know people blame Trump, and I do believe there's a lot of, you know, blame to be had on the government, but we also have local governments, right? Our California government doesn't seem to be as, you know, as prepared either. Our city governments, our hospitals. You know, there was a nurse that works really down the street from me here. She was on CNN saying how her hospital wasn't ready for this stuff. Like, they didn't have enough supplies for them to be prepared for this. And you know what? For the amount of freaking money that they make, and they should be prepared regardless of who's president or who's in charge of local governments. Like, hospitals should be prepared for this type of pandemic on their own with all the money they have. They should have stockpiled their own supplies over the course of last 10 years or so, rather than trying to do it now when nobody has these supplies. So I do think that we as a world will catch up to this and start handling it better than we're handling it now. The lockdown is a good thing. It will definitely slow down. So I don't think we're gonna be like this in for that much longer. I mean, unless we continue screwing up, I don't think we are. I think everyone's learning. Unfortunately, a little too late, but we will learn in time to kind of fight it off. So my guess would be that 2-3 months, and after that things will go back to relative normal. I know employment will be very high. I know a lot of businesses will go out of business. It will be a recession for sure. I mean, it looks that way. But as far as like being able to go on, I think in another 2, 3, 4 months, I'm talking about like Europe and the US. I think we should be I think we should be fine. Just like not in a crisis mode. Do I think some manufacturers will go out of business? I mean, honestly, no. This has to continue for like 6 to 12 months where people cannot go to factories and stuff like that. So I think that yes, it will hurt. Will hurt Tesla, but Tesla has money. Byton and Faraday Future and Lucid. Yeah, it will hurt. Definitely will hurt. But I think the 2, 3, or 4 months delay, it's something that they can definitely. And they have investors who are understanding, right? If an investor invested a bunch of money and the company they've invested in is not performing because they suck. And they're saying, well, I'm not giving you any more money. That's different than the company is performing well and saying, hey, we hit this hiccup of 3-4 months delay because of the virus. Usually I would assume the investors will jump in and say, oh yeah, we'll help you out because we think you're almost there. So I don't see anybody going out of business. Faraday Future may be concerned because they haven't gotten their new funding after getting Karsten as their new CEO. I would say that one probably a little bit more at risk, but at the same time, they know how to run their company with very minimum spending, so that actually can equal that out. But I would say no for now. Kind of too early to tell, but by the way, I do have to say that I just saw some good news because I've been looking at some charts, right? I mean, every day I'm looking at charts. I believe in the US, the number of deaths actually declined, the new deaths, right? Yesterday for the first time. So a little, no, I know it's not a lot, but it's a little of good news. All right, I'm catching up, guys. How long have I been streaming for? Oh gee, half an hour. Okay. Nick James asks, what do you think about the Cybertruck not meeting the street legal rules because of the tough body? Obviously Elon is not an idiot, right? I'm sure they've thought of all of this when they created the truck. I know they were probably super excited to get it on the market and show how different they are, all that good stuff. But there's no way anybody there was like, oh yeah, let's do that, even though everybody knew that they're not street legal. Yes, they will make adjustments. Don't forget, prototypes, early prototypes, pretty much never make it to market in their original design. So if you look at Model 3, Model Y, the fact that they went to production is like very, very similar. That means that Tesla thought that stuff through. Let's see how they adjust, right? Let's see how they adjust. I think they can get pretty close to what they got going on right now with the Cybertruck to make it street legal. Not sure what you mean by tough body, but I don't know if that's one of the requirements. So clarify if you can. Marcus Rella says hi from Argentina. 6:48 p.m. here and sunny. That's awesome. One day I would love to visit Argentina, but has to stay at home and doesn't matter because I'm on vacation. I'm a cop. Oh, all right. Well, wait a second. Wouldn't they need more cops on the streets rather, in times like this? Or are you guys not in a lockdown yet? I don't know what your situation is there. Gabe says, hey guys, do you want to know the new electric bus news that I want to share? Gabe, email me. Let me see if I can present that to, because I don't like presenting news on my channel without at least researching it, but that would be awesome if you just let me know, and maybe I'll make a story out of it. But I don't know if you've seen, I do have a video on my channel when I visited the BYD really is the name is, but BYD is how we pronounce it, I guess, here. bus factory in Southern California. They let me walk around and touch everything. It was kind of cool. There's a video on my channel about that. Check it out. This says now it's obligatory wearing of masks in Czech Republic. Well, when in US, well, so those masks don't really help, is what most doctors are saying. If you're sick, it helps you not to spread the germs, but you should really be at home at this point if you're sick, right? There are N95 and I even have N99 mask, but I've asked my doctor personally. He said, and that was before I was traveling to Detroit a few weeks ago when the virus was already here, but it wasn't like super dangerous yet. People weren't panicking, and my doctor said, don't wear a mask. That was the advice that I got. From what I understand, that's fine. Again, it depends on how comfortable you are with possibly getting the virus. I'm relatively comfortable because I do need to have my body have an immune system up. So therefore, I have to have other people's germs on me once in a while. So when something else comes along, even a flu, right? Or even something else, my immune system is able to actually operate. But that's just me. I can't make those decisions for you. But here, masks are not at all required. Daniel Leo, hi from Brazil. I would love to go there one day as well, but I'm a little more scared, I think, than anything. Alba says, drink chamomile tea helps with sleep. You know, my sleep is back to okay. I think I kind of hit the rock bottom with kind of being kind of all depressed about it. Not clinically depressed, just sad. You know what I mean? And I do have what is it? Melatonin that I take, and I didn't even take it. It just ended up going to bed later and waking up later. Marcus Rella says there's a group of scientists of my country, Argentina, who have achieved a test, like a pregnancy test, to detect the coronavirus with around 60 times, and if they get the funding, could reach plus or minus $3. I hope so. And I think there are a lot of people working on that, and we will get it. Like, here's the thing. I don't think, from what I understand, this virus is not some virus we can't understand or solve. It's just a matter of time. It's just right now it's traveling faster than we can handle it, but we will catch up, just like China caught up, right? And South Korea did a really good job as well. Peter Traveler says allowed to go work, but food and hospital. Okay. So that's not a full lockdown. That's not a, yeah, but still weird, right? James says, do you have any plans to get out of New York City for a little bit? If COVID-19 gets worse there, it's so dense. Well, I'm not in New York. I don't know if you're asking someone else, but I'm in Sacramento. And I would love to get out. I wanted to get out before even the virus started. This is not a good place for me, I have to say. After moving from Silicon Valley, it is not a good place. People here are not what I'm used to. And dating here is literally the worst. Like, I've always been in relationships. My most life, I don't remember being out of a relationship for more than a year. It's been almost 2 years here. I have not met like anybody at all who I would consider a potential relationship. So, and I don't see it happening now. Now that I've been around and I've been on dating apps and I've been out and about to, you know, clubs and events and whatever. Yeah, it's not the coronavirus that's driving me out of Sacramento. It's the Sacramento that's driving me out of Sacramento, honestly. But we'll see. I own a house here, so you know that's definitely well, you know how you can get me faster out of Sacramento as a Patreon and Super Chat. So that's how I can get out of here sooner. Alba says, I hope Lightyear 1 is going to be a success. Me too. I saw that car in person when I was in Vegas at CES. I have an entire video about it. I also have an interview with their CEO, which I haven't published yet, but I really am rooting for them. I don't know how far they can go with this, but they've already gone very far. So definitely wishing them good luck, and I hope they really do make it, at least in a short scale production. Hello from Aruba. All right. Didn't know I have viewers there. Let's see. Do you have a plan? Okay. I read that one too. Okay. I'm going to try to catch up on the comments. Okay, guys. Vid is out. He says, good night. Have a good night, Vid. Maybe I'll see you tomorrow because I'm hoping to do this maybe every day, you know, since we have nothing else to do. Let's see. If you're looking how to fill your time, maybe learn about the climate crisis and dedicate yourself to eliminating your own carbon footprint. Are you asking me specifically? You know, I think the problem with the environmentalists and the whole global warming movement is there is no good PR. There is no good marketing. I honestly can see how people are really confused about what the hell it is and why and where it's coming from. The story has been changed as far as the community is concerned too many times, and people on the other side with oil industries and it's just so easy to get people confused even more, right? We kind of need almost a very simple thing. And by the way, this environmental protection groups really should start putting out the real good ads that make sense, because honestly, even I, who definitely believes in climate change for sure, even I could not give you good statistics where it's coming from. Is it cars? Is it the bacteria and stuff that's growing in the Pacific Ocean? Is it the cow poop, right? Like, it's so unclear because I think we have great scientists, but no good PR people. And I think that's what I would like to have. And then also, what is the plan, right? Because if it's the cow poop, then everybody should be vegetarian. If it's the CO2 from cars, then everybody should drive electric cars. I think the messaging needs to be like way better because right now it's a mess. So I think that's what I would like from the global warming enthusiasts. I hear auto manufacturers are going to make masks and ventilators, says Joel Martinez. Do you all think that they're fit to do this? Yeah, I mean, like Tesla and GM, I mean, those are not, I mean, obviously, and I think Elon just tweeted that he met with some of the people who already make them. So obviously, they're not just going to try to Google it. They're going to meet with the experts and the government and figure out how to do this. They are manufacturing people, so they should be able to manufacture small, relatively simple devices if they can manufacture Teslas and Bolts and whatever. So I think they are. And this is what, but we don't have any other choice. Like, what do you mean? Like, we don't have other choice. Eli is back. All right. Ronnie says we should start listening to Bill Gates and Elon for that matter on topics on global scale. Ronnie, I wouldn't agree with that because Elon just put out a couple of extremely misleading and false statements on his Twitter. The video that I posted earlier today, my conversation with Eli, you can see that, but you can just go to his Twitter feed and look for yourself. I think what we should do is we should listen to doctors and scientists at this point. I think they're more fit than anybody else to tell us what to do about this. It's a scientific and medical issue. Gabe, what is your email so I can tell the news, please? You can tweet me, PM me on Twitter. You can do that. Steven says, hi, Alex. I just rode in a new electric Ford Ranger converted from a 2019 model here in Backsport, Maine. I get 60 miles per MPE per charge, I'm assuming. That's not that much though, but kind of cool. I like conversions. I really like conversions. I really hope they start converting classic cars, but I also know that they're really heavy and it's not really that easy. But I would love to see more of that. Let's see. How do you think how long do you think this lasts before folks can go outside again? Sanjeev, like I mentioned before, here in the US, unless we continue screwing up, which I think we're doing less of that, I would say a couple of months, 2 to 3 months. And again, I'm kind of relying on the data that's coming from China and South Korea. But again, we got to get our crap together with testing, and everybody, all 50 states need to kind of go on a lockdown. We can't have like one state on lockdown, another one's like spreading, we got to be like, I wish our federal government would be a little bit more like prepared and precise of what they want us to do. I'm glad our California government was one of the first ones to actually do the lockdown. Let's see. Japan has 15-minute blood test, 21 euros each, says Peter. Yeah, we're freaking behind everybody. I mean, that's a problem. Steve says Tesla in China is back up producing cars, so I give kudos to Elon as he was smart enough to have his factories in different part of the world. That's Fremont closing does not affect Tesla as badly. Steve, I hear what you're saying, but don't forget other companies like Tesla has the least number of factories than pretty much any other manufacturer. So yeah. Yeah, of course, I don't think he did it for this purpose. I think he did it for purpose of growing the company. So, you know, um, now I really hope that China really doesn't have that many new cases and they're letting people work because it's safe, not because they want to either appear to the world that they're over it or because they want all of the money coming in again of people buying stuff. So it is China, and I used to live in a communist country, so I'm just telling you, like, I'm a little cautious there. Gabe Hawk says hi from Seattle. Forny Kid says, move to Texas, help us in Austin. I have Tesla. You just have to title twice. So, hey, I have an idea. Move out of Texas and live in a state where you can buy an electric car and don't have to go through all this crap. And where your government actually supports the future of your children and breathing and stuff like that. That's just my thing, I moved from the place I did not like. My family moved from the place they didn't like. And that took way more than moving from one state to another. So, no. Marcus Rella says, I'm on vacation, second fraction of the 2008 since, let's see. Of course, I'm on the call if things get more complicated. All right, well, cool. That's good to know. Environmental Canadian, I'm asking everyone to eliminate their carbon footprint. It is us citizens that burn fossil fuels. You can't just, Alex, see, this is the problem with the messaging, is you can't just say, please stop using fossil fuels. Well, we can't. You know what I mean? That means that we all have to go into the woods and live in tents for the rest of our lives. There has to be a plan for the transition. There has to be a plan of what's more important to eliminate first and what's more important to eliminate second. Like I said, maybe it seems like it may not even be the CO2 as much as it is cow poop. I mean, messaging is awful. Sorry. On the climate crisis, says Hyric89, there needs to be more hype about the solutions than there's a concern about the problems. I agree. Ron Hutchinson says, love your show. Thank you so much. I'm hoping to maybe do this every day until we're all are allowed to leave our homes. Let me know. Environmental Canadian says you can find out where all greenhouse gases from any climate scientists online. No, I can. But the thing is, people have other problems. We have to deliver that message to them. This is not me. I do electric cars. You do environment, so you do that. Buy some ad spots, and I'm not saying you particularly, but whatever organization can afford it. Hire some real PR people and communicate this message to the masses. So far, we've done a horrible job at it. Don't tell me you've done a good job, because if you do, it is such a simple message. Hey, don't kill your children. This is where the problem's coming from, and this is what we need to do, and this is how it's going to benefit you. All the facts are on our side. And the fact that we can't take those facts and sell it to people who are actually going to benefit from it means we have crappy PR people. Okay, so own up to it. Stop telling us BS. Oh, stop using fossil fuels. No, most people tell you, F you, man. We have problems. We need to get to work. We need to feed our children. We don't care about your environment right now. We need to pay rent tomorrow. So, better messaging. Stop whining. Better messaging. Not going to go anywhere without it. Let's see. Carlos says, I'm not an Elon or any other person's worshiper. They make mistakes, so trust but verify. I know, and listen, overall, I think Elon is one of the most important people in the world. I keep saying that and people not listening to me. I really do, and that's just what I feel. But see, if he was someone who is just a crappy person or a stupid person and he would say something like this, I'll be like, yeah, okay, I expect it from you. But because I have so much respect for him, because he's such a leader, because he's such a smart guy, when he says something like that on Twitter, that's obviously not true. Like, kids are almost immune from coronavirus. That's why I get so upset with him, because he can definitely do better than that. That's why. All right. Paul says we're on 2 full EVs. Let's see. Now you got Mercedes, and what is this MG home? It's too many abbreviations for me to read. But home charging using a time of day electricity tariff to keep our transport costs down, trying to make the world better for our grandchildren. There you go. Let's see. Environmental Canadian, I eliminated my carbon footprint almost 2 years ago. No, you have not. I can guarantee you that, because you still accept mail at your house, right? That comes to you, and your mail truck is probably a gas truck, or your FedEx truck is a gas truck. You buy food at places that use semi trucks with diesel fuels to get it to you. Enough BS. Seriously, guys, we really need to be more realistic. Environmental, okay, 7 years ago I gave up flying forever. For 4 years ago, but I meant metal roof for my house. 2 years ago I put solar panels on my. Listen, great for you, but people don't want to do that. Okay, they have lives to live. I don't want to. I don't even want to do this. All right, man. I want to find a solution and promote the solution that makes sense, not just for myself or yourself, but for everybody. And I picked electric cars. 40 Kids says I love Texas and electric cars. All right, fair enough. Environmental Canadian, we don't have to go into the woods. Okay, but we have to do something. And you don't eliminate the fossil fuel usage without doing something. And going to the woods seems like the only solution based on what you're saying. Anyway, I think I made my point. Hopefully you hear me. Hopefully we can do better. We're on the same page here in terms of what needs to, what the problem is at least. Let's see. Joel says, "Thank you, Alex. Keep doing a great job. Stay healthy." Thank you. You as well. Marcus Rella says, "I'm glad your trout is better. Thought is better." Hey everyone, says Marcus. Don't forget to give your thumbs up. That's right. Good point. Though, see, it's right here. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. It will do better, and it will help me, also, hopefully do better and still maintain some of my income, because definitely views have been down, but I understand. Gerald says, why would buy electric car when fuel prices are low? Well, first of all, they're not going to stay low forever. They are low because of, well, one, no one's driving because of the lockdowns, and two, the whole thing with Russia and Saudi Arabia trying to screw America over by getting the oil supplies in such a shape when it's super cheap, where we would actually be in trouble. But now it bit them in the butt because of the coronavirus. So the prices are low for a temporary. And there are other reasons why you would want to buy an electric car. For example, if you want to buy a Tesla, you're simply buying the best car out there. Not the best service, but the best car out there. So some people want other things like saving money, not just on gas. There's oil changes and tune-ups, and they just don't want to go to gas stations, or they want to get a carpool sticker. And electric cars are also just quieter, and there's a lot of things that people enjoy about electric cars. But the gas prices are going to go back up, I think, for that's almost for sure. Boris says Big Oil has diluted the climate change message since they realized their business was causing a problem in the mid-1960s. Yeah, but it's way too easy for them to dilute the message, because the message sucks. What I'm saying is we need to come up with a better messaging that's simple, some slogans, put them on freaking hats, whatever the hell they do on the other side to counter this, right? Because this is for, like, I don't even have kids, and I'm worried about kids. I don't understand why people have, like, people with kids don't even want to kind of recognize this problem where everybody else in the world already has and doing something about it. But again, messaging needs to be better. Gerald says, too much weed, your electric cars. Gerald, if you want to troll this, I can just ban you with one. You can be an idiot all you want, but it's a reflection on you, one. Second, you know how easy it is to ban a person from a chat? I know you're probably locked down in your place, just like we all are, but spend your time doing something positive, man. I mean, don't show all of us how miserable you are. Just, like, listen. You can disagree, you can bring a fact in, but if you're gonna behave like a 5-year-old, you're just gonna get banned. Look, like, it's just super easy. Like, the button is right there for me. So either stop or grow up and have a conversation with me if you'd like, or just leave. Either way. Environmental Canadian says, hey Alex, thanks for listening to me rant and actually responding to me. The problem is that people have no idea how dire the climate crisis is. I know. Because of the messaging, right? We need to do better messaging. We have everything on our side, the science, the facts, the data. We need a PR person. Get it from the Republican Party. They're really good at it. They're from Fox News. They have great PR people. Get one of those to join you, and they'll shape the message better than anybody else. Okay. if they can PR that stuff, they can definitely PR stuff that's probably everybody should care about. Um, yes, Mikey C has actually a good point. Why buy an AV? Why buy an AV? Once you drive one, you'll know they just drive better. I agree. I mean, I've said it many times, and I think it's like it's not even me saying it. Everybody knows that if you want somebody to want to get an electric car, just let them drive it. The end. That's how I got into mine. All right. Gerald says, what are you talking about? I can drive anywhere in Canada. I don't know what that's a response to. Okay, are you going to be able to cover Tesla battery day, says Joel. So I don't know if they're actually going to be having it in person or online. Obviously, if it's online, I'll cover it. And if I can, if I don't know, like they usually don't send out invitations even for press, like usually like a week before, maybe 2 at best. So if I can go, I'll think twice about it but I don't think they're going to have it in person right now, like in the next 2 or 3 months. So I think it will be online. Well, they'll just push it, and obviously I'll cover it one way or another. So I will cover it, just don't know if in person. Let's see. Would you like to see GM continue with the Voltec EREV powertrain in the Volt and large vehicles? I don't know enough to answer that. What I want GM to do is what they actually have doing now, creating an all-electric platform for electric cars. That's not in any way shared with gas cars or whatever. Completely something new. They are doing it now, and then start building vehicles on that. Peter says we could also talk about why hydrogen don't work. Well, hydrogen cars do work. It's the infrastructure that is not in place, and you can't fuel or charge your car with hydrogen fuel cell fuel at home, and that's the deal breaker for me, and I think a lot of other people. Let's see. Craig says any white interiors yet? You're talking about Model Y. I haven't seen one, but I'm sure there will be one very soon. Ronnie says, greeting from Iceland. I like your show, very unbiased. I appreciate that. Hope you're staying healthy. My point from before was Bill Gates has warned us and governments about pandemics to be globally prepared, and Elon. I don't remember Elon warning against it, but you know, we should have been warned when we had an Ebola outbreak, and when we had the SARS and all of that stuff. We've been giving all of these warnings, right? And yet we didn't learn our lesson. So let's see how many people need to die for our medical community, for our governments to be prepared next time. And not just prepared for what just happened, they need to be prepared what happened times 10, right? Because these pandemics are not going to get easier. They're just going to get harder. We'll see. My hopes are low, honestly, unfortunately. Let's see. Yes, Marcus, I was going to bring it up. It's just, you know, I haven't had a chance. It's awesome how the air in China has changed this last couple of months. Yes, the pollution, not just in China. I mean, generally speaking, like pollution is, you know, almost gone from the air in a lot of these areas. The rivers actually are more see-through, and the water is more. I mean, things have changed very quickly, but it will go back, unfortunately, to normal. Are you looking forward to test driving the Tesla Model Y? It seems to be a winner. I'm really not, because I'm assuming it's going to drive exactly like Tesla Model 3, and I've driven that. So I'm more excited that this car is on sale. That's what I'm more excited about. And I'm not a fan of Model 3, so that's not a car for me, but it's definitely going to be the best seller for Tesla. Angela, Variety Channel. Alex, hi Alex. RE COVID-19, it mainly affects the elderly with the pre-existing conditions. Children are not immune, but I think Elon might have said practically immune, because based on the existing data, very low, right? Well, listen, when you're tweeting something and you have 30 million or whatever followers, you have to be very precise. You can't be making mistakes like this, and when you do, you have to come back and correct them. And since he hasn't corrected them, it looks like he's just being stubborn and staying, doubling down on his incorrect statement. Plus, that information is not needed. Like, why do we need to know that? Do you think that people should start letting their kids out more? Because those kids are going to get it, or if not get it, become carriers, come back and get their grandparents infected, and then what, right? So that statement was completely unnecessary. It wasn't helping or informing anybody of anything important. If anything, people will take it the wrong way, especially when you phrase things the wrong way, and that can actually cause some people to die. And I think that's why it was wrong. He should know better. I understand what he might have meant. It does look like we haven't heard too many deaths that are children, but it doesn't mean they can't be infected. Doesn't mean their immune systems are immune to that, and it doesn't mean that we should let them out, and since they can't die from it, their grandparents can. All right, so Michael says that's true about EVs. My mom just got Kona EV, and at first she didn't love the look, and I had to convince her to EVs, and now she loves it. And my dad also has a gas car. I actually do like the Kona a lot, the way it looks. But Steve says, okay, that's for Gerald. Environmental Canadian says, thanks for doing your YouTube channel. Lots of good information about EVs. I appreciate it, but I do hope that you take my words, to heart. I don't know if you're part of a big organization. Or maybe you have your own project. I really would love to hear a better messaging about the environment, because I absolutely do believe it's our #1 problem after we've solved this one with the virus. Let's see. Gerald says COVID-19 has been debunked. Okay, dude, I feel like you're like 5-year-old who's listening to Fox News and like just spewing something and trolling. So I'm gonna say goodbye to you because I had warned you. So boom. Now you're removed forever commenting on this channel. Congratulations. All right. Let's see. Do I need to actually ban you from the chat? Yes. There you go. And remove. Maybe I'll even report. How about this? There you go. Boom. Boom. Okay, I warned you, and now you've been out of here. Okay. Mikey says I also own the Bolt EV. Can't disagree with Alec that it's a little frumpy. That's not the word I use, but okay. It also started with an F. But it was what I needed. Taller, small hatch, Model Y wasn't available then. Bolt is a great freaking car. If it wasn't for the look, I'd be driving by myself. I don't know if I told you guys. Well, I did tell you. I don't know if you've heard, but I have seen the next generation Bolt. They've showed it to us when I was in Detroit. Unfortunately, we couldn't videotape it for you, but I can tell you the new look is not that much better than the old look. It will continue to look frumpy, as you said. Joel says, sounds like you will be working with GM vehicles instead of Byton now. Am I close? No, I'm not. Well, so first of all, let me just let you just kind of understand how this works. So I work with all brands, meaning I am in touch with their PR departments. Not all brands want to work with me. For example, Porsche said that, if I'm being sponsored by another manufacturer, they don't want to deal with me. I think they're a little bit full of BS, because that's one, stupid, but secondly, I know quite a few people and entities that they deal with that advertise other vehicles, and they also advertise Porsche on TV and online, and those entities also advertise Porsche. But I'm just saying, most of the time I have relationships with PR, with brands, personal and professional, all that stuff. So that will continue no matter what. With sponsors, you have to understand, my sponsors are not buying my opinion. My sponsors are buying, see that spot over there? Yeah, that's what they're buying. And they're also buying, 10 seconds of me every video saying and advertising their product. Now, I happen to be a fan of my sponsors, because I don't think I want to advertise a product or a service that I'm not a fan of. I'm a fan of Byton. I'm a fan of Avanex. I'm a fan of Climate Exchange. I'm a fan of American Tire Company, or Discount Tires, as they call in most of the USA. So most of the time I like my sponsors, and I'm a customer, a future customer. But that's a separate thing. They just buy the space on my channel and not my opinion. There's no reason to watch this channel or advertise on this channel if you think that I'm a sellout and I will say whatever it is that my sponsor wants me to say. Though I have videos, you can watch them and you can see that I have criticized Biden and I've praised Tesla. I said I've done good stories on let's just say other sponsors I don't want to name anymore, and I've done some negative stories. So overall, my work and my journalistic integrity is there for you to see, and you can judge for yourself. And every video that I post actually has a link to a video that I produced specifically explaining how this is different and how me being sponsored by Byton really does not affect anything. And every sponsor agreement that I sign has a clause that they do not control my opinion and they have no control over my content. So for example, if I make a negative video about Byton tomorrow, they cannot call me up and say, Alex, take it down. Like, no, they can't do it. All they did was bought the 10-second spot and that space over there in the head of my channel. So hopefully that explains that. Don't ban me, bro. Just asking, says Joel. Why would I ban you? You're not trolling me, right? Okay. I don't like banning people, but when they're completely unreasonable, I just don't have time. Paul says, thank you for your channel. Great idea to bring in experts like Eli, Tom, Sandy, Karsten, and Rich. It gives your channel a wider range of subject matter. Tom is a star. Sandy is just a cool dude. Yes, and I have a new monthly contributor that I'm going to be announcing very soon. I wonder if you guys can guess who he is or she is. That person has been on my channel before, and it's a relatively controversial figure in this space. I think I just almost gave it away, but I'll be announcing it soon. Excited to have that person. We already taped our segments, the first 3, because we do it in chunks, and these people are very busy. So I'm going to be releasing it as soon as the viewership picks up. I know nobody wants to watch stuff about electric cars right now, but we'll get it going. Let's see. Marcus says base Nissan Leaf 2.0 here is in where 61,000 American dollars. I don't know. In some countries, because cars made by some manufacturers of other countries, they put more tariffs or because they can't sell too many, but they still want to. You know, obviously they still have to pay for like their dealerships and advertising fees, so it goes up. Like for example, Tesla Model 3 that's made in China, I believe that's still true. Tesla Model 3 that's made in China, obviously with a cheaper everything, is still more than the same Tesla Model 3 that they import from the US. That's from what I understand the pricing is, or at least very close. So pricing is different in different countries. I like it when you make Sandy laugh. Yeah, you know, making Sandy laugh is kind of rough, and I don't think I'm gonna be able to do that. We're taping our segment next week. I don't think I'll be able to make him laugh next week, unfortunately. All right. Oh, in Argentina, yeah. I mean, it's in Argentina. I can see how electric cars are gonna be more expensive just because it's such a niche product yet there, you know. But I'm sure we'll get there. So, all right, guys, listen, I was going to go for like 20 minutes and now it's been pretty much over an hour. I'm thinking about doing this every day. Let me, like, one last thing, put it in the chat or a comment section. Do you guys want to hang out every day while we're doing nothing at home? You know, maybe getting away from your, you know, husbands, wives, dogs, kids, or whatever, and just hanging out here and talking about electric cars and whatever, and toilet paper, you know, whatever. Let me know. I would be more than happy to, but first of all, I'm hungry. It's almost 4 o'clock. Secondly, my voice is going again. Can you mention which videos include Karsten? I keep missing them. I think you can just search Karsten Breitfeld in my channel. You go to the homepage of my channel, put it in a search field, and it should bring up all of my videos with Karsten. Either our monthly videos and all of the interviews that I've done with him even before he became a contributor. All right, I think I am going to head out now. I'm just going to remind you one more time to subscribe to this channel if you haven't already, and if you have, there's also a bell notification icon right next to it, so don't forget to hit that. All right, well, thanks for hanging out with me. I'm going to try to do it tomorrow and every day so we have something to do and hang out with in this difficult times. So hopefully see you tomorrow. Other than that, I see you guys, and remember to stay charged.